Before I move on, I want to head to the top of the Nexus, and I'm going to switch to online mode for this. So I'm going to stand right here, and boom, online mode. Now, I continue to the top, and I want to show you something that I think is super, super awesome. And it's one of the many things that I love about the remake, I believe. I don't think this stuff existed before in original Demon Souls. This right here will show you your current profile. And on it, you can see all of these really awesome stats about your character. So it shows you how many demons you've vanquished, or how many bosses you've beaten, how many invaders you've killed. I'm guessing Phantom Saved is a stat for how many players you've helped beat a boss. Then there's how many souls you've consumed in total throughout your playthrough, and of course how many times you've died. It says 0 because the first death in the tutorial doesn't count. And then it shows you your time played and how many times you've beaten the game. I really like the stat for demons vanquished and games completed. I remember being in other Souls games and completing the game multiple times and then not knowing what new game I was on, and I would keep track of it by making sure that I always went out of my way to pick up this one specific item that you can only get once per playthrough, so that anytime I was like, oh, what new game am I on? I could go and look and see how many Havel shields do I have or something like that. So I really think that this is an awesome feature. But it actually goes even further than this up above. I kind of forgot that you can't access that area just yet, but through this gate and up above is a section that's only available when you're connected to online play, and it's basically this huge leaderboard that shows all kinds of different stats. There's stuff for invasion kills or co-op sessions. I assume it's like world mending or something, and Phantom Saved and Phantoms Vanquished, and then there's souls consumed, demons vanquished, number of new games completed. There's even one for speedrunning the game. There is a speedrunning leaderboard at the top of the Nexus, and I think all of that stuff is really cool, and I really appreciate it being added to the game. I feel like a lot of games could use these types of things, especially the Souls games. I would love to see more of this type of stuff in Souls games. Really great additions that I am really, really excited about. Now it's time to head to the first area, Boletarian Palace. The beginning of Demon Souls is really, really cinematic, and I really appreciate it, especially with how beautiful it looks. I feel that cutscenes aren't very heavy throughout the Souls games, so it's pretty cool to see them when they do happen usually. A couple of other things to just throw out there is that in this game you're super, super vocal when you do anything. When I walk around, you can hear your character. When I attack, you can hear your character rolling. You can hear your character. And I think that's really cool because usually in Souls games, the extent of your voice is when you die or when you get hit. Your character's like, oh! And that's basically all you hear from your guy. But in this game, there are so many different ways that you can hear your character. And I think how vocal you are is... At first, I couldn't get used to it, Not in a bad way, but every time it made me smile. I was just like, wow. But now I'm more used to it, and I just appreciate it. I love the way this game feels. Seriously, I've been so obsessed with Demon Souls lately. That gate I will be opening later through the World Tendency events. I don't want to be like a super guide gamer. I am gonna undoubtedly talk about things like I'm doing some type of tutorial, even though it's not a walkthrough or anything like that. It's kind of helps me. It kind of helps me to learn it and understand it more, remember it better. But I also just think it's fun to note, just in case there's something out there that, someone else doesn't know. This game also has a lot of stuff in the settings. In the settings of Demon Souls, you can change up so much stuff, and it is so awesome, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. You can make it so that whatever helmet you're wearing isn't displayed. So if you want to wear a helmet but you want to see your character's face, then you can just turn off your helmet so that you can't see it. My first playthrough, I didn't wear anything other than the silver coronet the whole playthrough because I spent a long time creating a character and I didn't want to just put a helmet on for all of eternity. And then I learned that you can just turn your helmet off. On top of this, there are some other things that I find useful. One of them is turning off the recenter feature. Whenever you try to lock onto an enemy by clicking right stick, usually if there's no enemy to lock onto, it will just change your camera so that it's right behind you. So if I have my camera like this and I try to lock onto something that's behind me, but it doesn't lock on for some reason, my camera would flip around completely and face this way. And I found that to be really inconvenient because sometimes I don't want to lock on to an enemy, or sometimes I'm trying to and I'm not facing them and it misses or whatever, and it ends up being really annoying. So I turned that off, and I also turned off the feature that's in the game. It's in other games as well. Whenever you pick up an item for the first time, it will automatically be equipped in your inventory. I found this to be really annoying, and once I saw that you can disable that, I was really, really happy about it. Usually you don't have to worry about that because it's once you pick up something for the first time, it gets auto-equipped. But in Demon Souls, since you have to manage your item storage, you're gonna be picking things up for the first time a lot because you'll probably be putting it in your storage. At least if you're anything like me, like fire bombs and whatnot. I used to put that all away the second I got it because I was like, I'm probably not gonna use this, or it's just too much weight or something like that. And then you end up picking up a fire bomb for the first time and you're switching through your heals frantically in the middle of a fight, and then you're throwing a firebomb on accident instead of eating the crescent grass. So I think it's really, really helpful to edit some of those settings. There are also other ones that are really nice. You can go into your controls and you can bind certain buttons. If you click the touchpad on the PlayStation 5 controller, you can access everything from here. This is a tool belt. It's like more of an extended inventory or whatever for the bottom corner. And then you can write messages, you can do gestures, and then there's photo mode. I have photo mode bound to the other side, the left click of my touchpad. Photo mode is a fantastic addition to Demon Souls, and since I have discovered photo mode in this game, I have just been obsessed with it. It's so awesome, and it has made me feel sad that other games don't have it. It's such a cool feature, and you can do so many cool things with it. And in Demon Souls especially, you're able to do some really extensive things with it. An example is you can make your character do certain poses, like this. I can make my character be sad, sit down, do the collapse gesture, disbelief, of course, the gratitude gesture, point down. A lot of them are just gestures, but they're really, really cool. And I love it. And then you can edit your expression as well. You can make yourself angry. I think one of the funniest ones is the side look. You can't see it very well because I'm in soul form, but they're doing like a look and looking to the side. I think that's so funny, and the surprise look is pretty funny too. And then the wink, come on, they have a wink in the game. Yawn is fine. They're just so good. They're so good. And then you can also do things like change it so that you can't see your weapons if you don't want to for the picture. Of course, I can hide all of this.